It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is CarEdge Live for Tuesday, November 25th, 2 days before Thanksgiving, with your hosts, me, Ray, here in Ventnor, and, well, that good-looking young man, and some say I shouldn't say it, but that handsome young man, Zach, in Washington, D.C. How are you today, handsome?
I'm feeling great, man. Thank you for calling me handsome. Always puts a smile on my face. Dad, today's show brought to you by CarEdge.com. We did the unthinkable, folks. We did a Black Friday sale, and it's the biggest discount we've done all year. We've got $300 off our car buying service, 30% off CarEdge Pro. We're running it for a week. Please take advantage of it, folks. We're trying to make sure that we are helping out as many people as possible as they navigate the car buying process here at the end of the year. So again, the biggest promotion we've done all year, doesn't get any bigger than this, $300 off the car buying service, 30% off CarEdge Pro. To be clear here, the car buying service, you tell us what you want. We match you with a concierge. They do all the work. You get the keys. You can meet the team, see the deals they've done, see how much money they've saved for our community, all back here on CarEdge.com. We are full of transparency here. And please book a consultation call with our team before you get started. CarEdge Pro, on the other hand, it's the co-pilot you need with the data you need to secure the best deal. This is the information and the resources our team uses to get you the deal. It's just do it yourself rather than we do it for you. Okay, that was a big ad read. You ready to jump into today's show?
Please.
All right, Dad. The car market reset is about to get so much worse, and I've got a few data points to show that. First, from Car Dealership Guy News, used car prices are falling fast. Over on CDG, they're talking about what that means for inventory and appraisals, but that's putting some downward pressure on the car market. Over at Cox Automotive, Dad, November U.S. new vehicle sales, so not used, new vehicle sales are expected to decline 8% year over year as higher prices and slowing EV sales hit the market. And then, Dad,
Yes,
we've got auto loan rejections surge as Gen Z faces growing credit strain. Those are the three topics. Plus, we've got a couple really bad car deals we're going to review today as well. A little bit of a public service announcement. But those are the three topics that I think we can tie together to help frame that the car market and the reset in the car market is only just getting started.
I do have a question, a brief question. Do we have any type of vaccine or shot for that credit strain? I'm sorry.
It's YouTube, man. You know, some people are going to run wild with that. But that what's going on here? What's going on here in the car market? Let's dig in pretty please.
Yes.
You've got used car prices crashing. You've got new vehicle sales down almost double digits, 8% year over year. And we've got more and more people getting rejected for auto loans now. So we've always talked about how access to credit is what keeps the lights on in this dance club. You know, like the people keep dancing to the music because, well, the credit is available. It seems like the music stopped, the lights are out. Like if people cannot get approved for auto loans, and now we've got Gen Z showing even more weakness in their credit availability, what happens as the boomers age out, stop buying cars? I mean, there's a really precipitous downward spiral potential here for the car market.
Well, it's what happens when the people with money take themselves out of the car market, which I think as we expect to see year over year month sales decline in November by about 8%. I think that might be the indication that it's finally starting to happen. That even the people with money are saying, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore." People are sick and tired of the pricing of these vehicles that we see, and I think as you piss off a larger portion of potential buyers because of these high prices, you are really limiting yourself to a handful of people that will still be out there looking to buy cars. And Generation Z, was that who it was, or millennials, whoever the hell it is?
No, Gen Z.
Yeah, I mean, who has the money to be able the average new car transaction price is once again approaching $50,000. The average listing price for new cars is over $50,000. if you use my 10% rule as to what you can afford, my 10% rule is 10% of your gross monthly income can go towards a car, including insurance, your car payment, maintenance, and fuel costs. So if you are an average person making $5,000 a month, using that 10% rule, you can spend $500. Now, I have seen comments when I have said this in the past, and they said, well, who could, that's crazy. Nobody could afford to buy a car. That's the point. Okay. That is the exact point that I'm trying to make, that everything is priced so high that the average person really can't afford to buy a car. And we're starting to see it in the sales decline.
Yeah,
Now,
that's exactly what we're seeing. Yep.
and I don't know, not to quibble with the CDG car dealership guy, but I don't know. I don't think we've seen a precipitous decline in retail used car prices. Oh, I am certain that used car managers are doing everything in their power to steal every trade-in they can. By saying, oh, well, the auctions, the values are going down a little more than 1% a week. But I don't, we haven't seen that reflected on the retail side of things yet.
We actually have, Dad. Prices are down 10% on the retail side since late summer. Now, that usually takes a significantly longer period of time to come down. So we have seen used car prices come down a little bit. It is more on the wholesale side, to your point, than it is on the retail. And to be clear here, there's still 40% higher where they were in 2019. So used car prices are still quite inflated relative to where they had been if there wasn't a chip shortage and a global supply chain crisis. But I think you're hitting the nail on the head, Dad. I posted a short the other day. If you're not following us over on Instagram, you absolutely should. It's My CarEdge. There it is right there, My CarEdge. Look at some of these comments, Dad. From Dan O'Hearn, can't be the 10% rule. This isn't 1996 anymore. And 38 people like that. And then you come over to TikTok, which also has a slightly younger demographic over here. And you can see right here, this isn't a realistic approach when median new cars are $50,000 and the average gross income is $46,000. And I think that is exactly your point, is this is actually the way to do it. And we are finally starting to see some material cracks on the new car market and the used car market to a degree as well. An 8% decline year over year is a big deal. And we're actually talking about, guys, 1.27 million vehicles sold. That's down month over month and down year over year. This number, the industry likes to see that number like significantly higher, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7,
Yes.
1.8. Heck, there have been some months where we've seen it close to 2 million. So this is down significantly. And I think when you pair it with some of these other articles we're seeing around auto loan rejections, the credit strain for younger shoppers, it's a pretty clear picture of what's going on here. Then you read the comments on our videos. It's a clear picture of what's going on here. People can't afford these things. They don't want to overpay for them. They don't want to go through the hassle, and they're taking themselves out of the market.
Yeah, I mean, what it says to me, and I know that there are any number of people out there who will reject the concept of my 10% rule. I get that. But what it really says to me is that everything is way overpriced. Wages have not kept up with prices. And so therefore, if you base what you can buy on my 10% rule, if you wanted a new car, you probably need an $18,000 to $20,000 new car. And guess what? They don't exist. And guess what? Oh, well, that's not a nice enough or a well enough equipped car for me to want to buy it. So that a lot of people out there are thinking, well, that should be 20% or 25%. Well, I don't know how to break it to you, but rents haven't gone down. The cost of homes hasn't gone down. The cost of food hasn't gone down. So if you're going to say that 20 to 25% of your income, your gross income, should go towards your car, you're out of your flipping mind. You need somewhere to live now. Yes, you can live in your car under a bridge down by the river. Absolutely, you can. Okay. you might find it a little hard washing your clothes, in the winter months when it's a little chilly out there. But come on, let's deal in reality. And the reality is that things incomes haven't kept up with inflation, with the rising cost of things. And people are trying to rationalize why it would be okay to allocate more than they should for the car that they think they need, that they don't really need because they can do with something less expensive.
For sure. That's part of it. And it's also the manufacturers have just continued to increase their MSRPs. And ultimately, there has been enough demand. And again, what we're talking about today is the reset is going to get so much worse because we are starting to see the cracks in that foundation. We've been seeing it for a while now. But again, the big headline this morning for me was the fact that we have an 8% decline year over year in new vehicle sales. I'll pull that back up on the screen again. This comes from the industry conglomerate, Cox Automotive. This is a damning headline for the auto industry. And it'd be one thing if it was the new car market getting a little shaky and the used car market was totally fine, but the used car market is starting to see some cracks in its foundation as well. Dad, we actually have an ask to our community today. We've got our quarterly, or excuse me, we're doing it monthly, our CarEdge car buying survey. It's caredge.com/CCBI. I'm putting that link on the screen.
What?
Please. CCBI, the CarEdge car buying survey. It's for our CarEdge car buying index. We need our community to answer this survey. It's anonymous, and it's just a couple questions here. 100% anonymous, no contact information. We are every single month pulling together our CarEdge car buying index, and we want you to share your information with us so that we can pull this data together, pull our report together, and share it with the broader industry. How much do you trust automakers to treat consumers fairly? How much do you trust dealers to treat consumers fairly? We have questions on here, Dad, around affordability as well. So please, please, please take a moment to fill this out. And we'll talk about those results in a future episode of CarEdge Live. How long can this go on, Dad? How long can these manufacturers continue to just have a, what's it called, a K-shaped economy where they're really just tailoring what they produce for those that are affluent and can afford it? How long does this go on? Or do you think we are starting to see a reversion back to where the auto industry used to be, where it was accessible to the masses?
How long can it go on? I don't know. Hey, if there's another 8% decline in sales year over year in December, and then another 8% in January, at some point, somebody who has been asleep at the wheel for years is suddenly going to say, I think we got a problem here. Houston, we've got a problem.
Well, can I share one more data point with you to see how this frames your thinking?
Yes.
What do you think? Actually, you know what? I'm just going to show you. The New York Fed has shown that auto rate applications have been rejected at a double the rate in the most recent month that we have data. So 15.2% of those, Dad, who applied for auto loans in October were rejected. That's double where we've been earlier this year. So I actually want to add that data point to the conversation.
Okay, what do you think that says? I'll tell you what I think it says to me.
What do I think that says? I think that says that this reset's real, that it's not going to be sustained on BS and approving people for things that they can't afford.
Well, I think it says that you have people who need to buy cars that don't have the means to buy cars.
15%
That's what it says
not
to
getting
me.
approved. Yeah.
Yes. So if double the number of people who have applied for auto loans are getting turned down, that means the quality of the shoppers out there is considerably less than what the manufacturers would have hoped for. So that says to me, you are running out of customers as a manufacturer and as a dealer. So how do you bring those customers back? You better figure out ways to start offering less expensive cars. You have, I don't know, I can remember 2 or 3 years ago and saying you can't keep narrowing your customer base. At a certain point, you have to broaden your customer base. That you need a larger swath of the American public to be able to afford to buy your products. And I think if there was a doubling of the rejection rate last month in October, that is beginning to show the manufacturers you need to figure out a way to make your vehicles more affordable for a bigger portion of the population. That it's not going to be sustainable to just sell cars to 10 to 12% of the population. You need to be able to sell cars, I don't know, 30%, 40%, 50%. When we were in Dearborn and we went to the Ford factory and we watched the film about the history of Ford,
Yeah.
what was the thing that Henry Ford had in mind when they started building cars? To make them affordable for the masses.
Ooh, you know what? Because Henry Ford's whole thing was he wanted his employees to have an affordable vehicle. Shall we do a little live experiment, Dad? You game for this?
I'm always game.
All right, here we go. We're going to the Google machine. What is the average salary for a Ford employee? Drum roll, please. Okay, 126. Wow, Ford pays folks well.
Yeah, well, you didn't ask for factory workers.
But I'm looking at overall, everyone that they pay, and you've got here, production workers around $50,000 a year. So it's a wide range.
Yes.
It's a wide range. Let's now do another tab. Give me a second here. What is the average MSRP of a Ford vehicle? Let's do the F-150. Average used price $50,000. We know, Dad, that for new F-150s, the average MSRP is closer to $65,000.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see here used ones are approximately $50,000. So let's say it's $60,000. Let's use your 10% rule for a second here.
Okay.
If I'm a production worker at Ford, making $48,000 a year, I cannot afford a $60,000 truck.
No, even if you were a production worker at Ford making $60,000 a year, which is $5,000 a month, you couldn't afford. I mean, and Henry Ford's concept was, I want the people that are putting these things together, that are building them, to be able to afford to buy one. Now, he wasn't saying he wanted them to be able to afford to buy one because he was paying them too much. No, he wanted to keep the costs down low enough so that they could build the cars cheaply enough and pay their workers cheaply enough, but yet they could still afford to buy the product that they were building. Today, they couldn't afford to buy a used one.
Yeah.
And that is malfeasance at the highest levels of the manufacturing of automobiles, where they have decided, these C-suite people have decided, the hell with us common folk. We don't need you. We don't want you. We're not going to cater to you. You figure it out on your own.
Now, for those of you that want a brand that represents the common folk, CarEdge.com. We got the biggest promo of the year, baby. $300 off, 30% off. We're here to try and help you save as much money as possible as you do navigate a difficult car buying process. Dad, one more thing here. I want to look at just Gen Z.
Yes.
Because as boomers age out, stop purchasing new vehicles, these automakers have to look for the next generation of consumers, for shoppers. Yes. Gen Z's average FICO score dropped 3 points to 676, the largest year-over-year decrease among any age group since 2020.
And what is the Generation Z age group?
Gen Z age range. Give me a second here.
Thank
Someone
God.
who right now is 13 to 28 years old.
Well, yeah, them 13-year-olds, they don't have very good credit scores yet. But
sure, but Dad, early 20s to late 20s, we're talking about a group that's starting to earn money, starting their careers.
Yes.
This group is struggling from a credit perspective, and ultimately that impacts what APR you're going to get or the likelihood that you get approved for that loan. And we know that the industry is already seeing more people get denied for auto loans with these insanely high prices. It's a little bit of a 1-2 punch.
Which they set themselves, the manufacturers set themselves up for it. Now, the good news is
good news. Let's hear it.
Yeah, the good news for those nice Gen Z folks is that there will be a subprime lender out there that's going to look at you and go, you're worth taking a shot on. You're at just the start of your career. You're going to make more money. And we want you to drive around in that nicer car. So we'll help you out. Now, okay, so your interest rate's going to be 24.99%. But think of the impression you're going to make when you drive up to your job interview in that nice, newer car. That's good news.
Good news indeed. Dad, let's go to the chat for a couple minutes here, and then we've got some pretty damning car deal. I don't know, a damning car deal to look at.
Yes.
First here from Scott. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate the kind contribution. I think Pops is right on with his 10% rule. I'd like to hear a solution for us buyers. Do we lowball? Do we wait until the sticker price is lower? Unfortunately, Dad, this is at least my thinking here. Right now is about as good as it's going to get in terms of the new car market. And even for the used car market, probably because there was such a significant decrease in the number of new vehicles produced for so many years there. So it is, I think, a matter of negotiation. You don't expect to see really low prices. You're going to have to put in work to get the lower prices.
Absolutely. And as we said, probably 2 years ago or 3 years ago, as a large group of consumers, if you just stop buying cars, okay, and we had, what was the website? Stopbuyingcars.com or whatever that was. If you stop buying cars, perhaps as the cars start to build up in inventory, the manufacturers will get the hint.
Which, to be clear, is exactly what's happening right now, which is influencing my answer. New car inventory is at the highest level it's been in the past 18 months. We've seen significant increases in negotiability and leverage for customers. So if you want to buy a vehicle or if you need to buy a vehicle, now is definitely the time to do it.
Zach, it's not if you want to buy a vehicle or you need to buy a vehicle that you have more leverage today. It's still not affordable for most folks. That's the real problem.
I completely agree. And a lot of people watch this show and a lot of people go to CarEdge.com because they need to buy a car or they want to buy a car. You might as well at least help them get the best deal and have the best experience. From Rich, thank you for the kind contribution, Rich. Zach, quote, boomers age out sounds so final. How about mellow out, excluding Ray? I mean, well,
it does sound final, but it's also reality. When we age out, we're gone. Okay. It's just that simple, and it's 74 and a half, and it'll be today. It's exactly 74 and a half today for me.
Today's your half birthday. Okay.
I realize I'm on the last stages of my life. Do I want it to end like tomorrow? Hell no. But I'm going to age out, and damn it, my kids are probably going to inherit more money than I want them to because I haven't spent enough of it yet. But it is final, and maybe we shouldn't try and mellow it out.
You're funny, man. You're really freaking funny. Sad commentary. You're so funny, Dad. All right, let's keep going to the chat here, and then we're going to look at that crazy car deal from Luna Chiquis 06. Hopefully, I did not butcher that too much. In the final stages of my vehicle purchase with the assist of CarEdge Concierge, can't wait to take delivery of my new Honda CR-V. Love hearing that. We've got another one here, Dad, from Eduardo Hernandez 932. Hi, I just want to thank you guys. I got CarEdge Pro and went through a lot of your videos and managed to reduce the price well below MSRP, increase my trade-in amount, and get the finance rate I wanted. Love reading that. And we've got here from Rich, one of CarEdge's greatest benefits is how much of your time you save using them. Love these comments. Thank you guys for the kind words. We are super busy this time of year, but it's really rewarding to help so many people. All right, Dad, shall we turn our attention to this insane video that you shared with me? Antonio, actually, in our community shared with us.
Yes.
All righty. Here it goes. Get it up on the screen here. I'm going to press play and then we can pause it. Here we go.
Let's just explain the damn thing.
All right. Wait a second. It's almost there. Total payments, $159,000. RAM 2025. New. Okay, Dad.
Okay.
What the heck's going on here?
So this is a deal that someone entered into on allegedly a new Ram 2024 2500.
That's what it says up here. New 2024 Ram 2500 with 6,037 miles on it.
Yeah, so it wasn't really new. Okay, they sold it as new. I normally you don't put 6,000 miles on a demo, but what the hell do I know? And so this was a truck where the person financed $112,000. Call it $112,000.
That's the number you're seeing right here, 111,916.
6%, because that's just such a great rate for 84 months. And this person's monthly payment, he or she, I don't know, it was $1,898. Call it $1,900. Now, this person thought that it made total sense to buy a truck for $112,000 or finance $112,000 on a truck. I don't know how much the truck was, and pay back over that 7-year term $47,548.76 in interest. If this doesn't prove the fact that the vast majority of the population out there is financially illiterate, nothing does. There is no way in hell, using a 10% rule, a 20% rule, a 50% rule, that anybody should sign up for a monthly payment of $1,900 a month and pay back $47,000 worth of interest. It's a Ram pickup truck. It might not last 7 years without a major repair that's needed once you were out of warranty. This is the type of financial suicide that we see people entering into in this country. And there is something wrong with our education system that somehow we haven't made people realize that stuff like this is stupid. And you need, as a customer, you need to do better. You need to know better. You need to, I don't know, buy a used one for $40,000, not a new one where you're financing $112,000. And if you scroll to the right a little bit, the person put zero down. Zero. Okay? Why would you do that? What is it that you think you're accomplishing when you do that? It is, we need to do better. We need to educate better. We need to do better. We need to reach more people before they sign for stuff like this. This is just an indictment on how stupid we can be in this country. Sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry. I mean, obviously a bad decision that this person made, at least based on the information that we have. It's a decision that we wouldn't validate someone making, and it's a hell of a lucrative deal for the dealership. That's for doggone.
Oh my God.
Sure, they made plenty of money on this. And again, we talk about new car interest rates are typically better than used car interest rates. And look at that, you're still at 10 point.
Think about this for a second. I'm just going to spitball here.
Yeah.
And let's say the buy rate on this auto loan to the dealership was 8.6%. And so there was a 2% spread in the built into the rate. And that 2% might have produced an extra $10,000 in interest.
Yeah.
And the dealership, the normal split between dealerships and banks is the dealership gets 70% of that. So if it was 10 grand, the dealership made $7,000 on the back end just on the interest portion, and the bank will make an extra $3,000. and the customer will have paid a total of an extra 10,000. So it is, yeah, the dealership made, and I think the correct terminology here is a poop ton of money on this deal, probably front end and back end.
So, folks, for those of you that don't like how often I promote what we do, I do it because it's like a public service announcement. People get taken advantage of every single day, and there are new people that tune into CarEdge Live every single day. If you know someone who's in the market to buy a car, please send them our direction, CarEdge.com. And in addition to that, Dad, we don't talk about it that often, but on the insurance front, a lot of people have an opportunity to save money there. On the warranty front, a lot of people have a lot of opportunities to save money there. So please make your way back to CarEdge.com. Take advantage of what we've built over the past 5 years. And please know that we are always here to help. We are back tomorrow with more CarEdge Live the day before Thanksgiving. And then we're back on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. So please tune in over those next couple of days. Dad, enjoy your afternoon. And thanks, as always, for preaching to everyone here.
Yeah, you do the same, young man. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We hope to see you all back here tomorrow. Tell all your friends, damn it, to join us.